weekend. We'll take a picture in the local.
Tonight in the ocean wave, the inside over, upside under, right over, upside down. On the next circle half. Up and dive and onto the left. Up and dive in the ocean wave, the inside over, upside under, right over, upside down. Now come home and swing your arms. Swing her high and swing your low. On the left, all over the hog, all the way around. You look right up and you lift it down. Jump right up and you come right down. Now come on home and swing it around. Back and up and right and turn around. Up and down in the ocean wave, the inside over, upside under, inside over, upside down. On the right and turn around, and up and down and on to the left. Now come home and swing your own.
and others, we are gathered here to witness a state of matrimony greater than the state of confusion that we find ourselves in. This daring groom desires to take unto himself a better half. But he'll find out all she wants to be is the big cheese of El Dorado. This sweet, coy, ravishing young bride thinks she wants a man to bake for her and to boss. Well, now we'll proceed with the ceremony. Join them into the bonds of wedlock at the marriage altar. If any member of this imposing and curious audience can show proper reason why these two young'uns should not be made one, let them speak now or forever hold their peace. Fresh up, Freddie, do you take this fair lady to be thy lawful wedded boss in all affairs of married life, to live together in the unlockable bonds of wedlock, agreeing to agree, unless you disagree? Will you stay with her, for better or worse, submit to her rule, praise her cooking, and place your pocketbook at her disposal?
I will. I better.
Easy heavy. That's what she's known as in these parts. Easy heavy. Will you take this fine specimen of manhood to be your loving and humble slave? To train him as he should be trained? Will you allow him to build fires in the morning? To run the washing machine and wash all the dishes while you talk on the phone? Will you spend his money freely, forsaking all others? Nag him only when you're alone. Who gives this view beauty. Who gives this bride into the keeping of this this handyman?
I do. The greatest pleasure. From this moment forward, I turn over all of her debts. This poor young fella, God help.
Do we have a ring? The groom will repeat after me. I, Fresh Up Freddy,
I, Fresh Up Freddy,
do take this easy Evie
do take this easy Evie
to have and to hold and take to the mill. Looks like you already did that. For richer or poor, to keep the bucks and sell all the feed, to make sure that I am fed,
and to make sure that I am fed,
as long as we both shall live.
as long as we both shall live.
Place the ring on her finger. Now the bride shall repeat after me. I, Easy Evie,
I,
do take this Fresh Up Freddy to have and to squeeze,
pardon me?
to have and to squeeze,
To have and to squeeze.
as long as I please,
As long as
for richer or poorer,
or rich or poor,
to fix all the tractors,
to fix all the tractors.
to hunt and fish whenever he wants,
And whatever you want.
as long as we both shall live.
Well,
You can place the ring on that groom's finger.
Only got one ring.
That's okay, put the other one back. Do you promise to obey him?
I do.
Inasmuch as Fresh Up Freddy and Easy Evie have made these fine promises in front of these fine people, I pronounce them man and wife. What I have put together, don't anybody mess with.
Where's the guest?
May kiss the bride.
Father Himberg has a dirty habit and he's going to change his clothes. You should have danced all night. You've heard a lot of people going on about this here being an age of specialization. Well, I'm a carpenter by trade. Time was I could have built you a house or a barn, a church or a chicken coop. But I seed the need for specialization and I studied her and I got her and she's mine. Ladies and gentlemen, you are faced with the champion privy builder of Madoc Township. The first one I did commercially was for Frank Blakely, up the road here a bit. Now she was just your standard 8-family 2-holer. I was just starting. And Fred Bailey was talking about getting married and he come to see me. And he said, I hear you build privies. And I said, you bet I do. In the wintertime when I'm off, I do a bit of paper hanging too, but my heart and my soul is in privy building. Well, Fred said he was figuring on getting married, raising a bunch of kids, and I said, I'm just a man you need. So he said, when could you come up? I said, just as soon as I get the roof on the one I'm building out to Hazard's Corners. Anyway, I went up and I said, Fred, what do you want? And Fred said he was figuring on a fairly large family, and he wanted a good-sized privy, and I said, that's all right, I can do her. And I said, where was you going to build her, Fred? Well, Fred said he was going to build her right out, just back of the house, right under a northern spy. And I said, Fred, you could do that, that'd be okay, but with me doing it, I wouldn't do that at all. I says, Fred, there's nothing more disconcerting in life than to be sitting there and hear apples plopping on the roof. Besides that, I says, Fred, the roots makes for hard digging. And the soil isn't good for absorbing moisture neither. And I said, you got the corn crib out here and you got this crookedy path. Evelyn's going to be heavy in child one of these times and she's going to be walking out there in the middle of the night and she's going to end up cast under the corn crib. He could see I was right. And I said, if it was me doing it, I tell you what I'd do. I'd build her just in a straight line out there just past the wood pile. And I'll tell you why. The average woman will make 4 to 6 strips a day. Now, if there's many men folk around, most of them's being just a little embarrassed, they won't go. They're heading out and the men come along, they aren't going to go right to the privy. They'll stop at the wood pile. They get an armful of wood and back they go. This way you've got the wood pile full by noon. And right there is a saving of time. Fred could see it was right. Now I says, Fred, is to the digging of the hole. I says, you want to dig her wide and you want to dig her deep. It's a mighty sight better to have a little privy over a big hole than the big privy over a little hole. There's nothing will break up an odd fellow's picnic quicker than a digging party. Fred could see it was right. Fred, I says, now coming to the construction of her. I says, do you want the door swinging in or do you want the door swinging out? And Fred said he didn't see it made any difference. And I said, Fred, she makes a great deal of difference. Firstly, you want to have her heading just a little to the east. She catches the morning sun that way. And I said, you just imagine, feature in your mind, you're sitting there on the seat, and the sun's coming up, and it's coming in there, and the door open, and you can see off towards Sanford's, and it's beautiful. And you hear somebody coming. If the door swings in, you can shut her, but if the door swings out, where are you? He could see I was right. Now I says, Fred, when it comes to cutting the designs in the door, I said, what do you want? He said, it didn't see it made much difference. Well, I said, it makes a lot to do with the beauty of the structure. I said, we can give you stars, diamonds, or crescents. Last year we was cutting a lot of stars and they make a nice jaggedy shadow on the floor. But we're running back more to crescents now. We also do twining hearts for the newly married and bunches of grapes for the newly rich. But they come under the head of specialty items and they cost a little more. Fred said he'd settle for just a half moon. I said, Fred, the thing has got a lot to do with the beauty, and just remember, when she's cut, she's cut. You can't change her. And then Fred said, you've had a lot of experience. He said, how long will a catalog last? And Fred, I says, I've done some research on the matter, and I says, if without a lot of company from the city, and without the kids getting into a lot of green apples, you're going to be well into the harness section by November. These things you learn with experience, and Fred being just newly married, he didn't have a clue about these things. Anyway, I says, to the color of her, Fred, what color was you going to paint her? Well, he said he thought he just painted a nice dark green. I said, green is nice and it does a good job. So if it was me doing, I wouldn't do that. And I'll tell you why. She's too darn hard to see in the dark. I said, you're going to come home some night. You've been out late, partying and messing about. You're going to come home late, and it's going to be dark. And you're a bit short taken. You haven't got time to go casting a boat. No, I says, Fred, if I was you, I painted her a nice dark red like the barn over there. And I trim her with white. Does a nice job, and there's enough contrast you can see her. So anyway, time passed, and we got her built. And I don't mind saying, next to my own, it's one of the finest privies in Madoc Township. And you know, once in a while, I get a little depressed. And I think maybe I've hitched my wagon to the wrong star and I should have gone into chiropractic or veterinary. And I get away from the car and the young lad in the back seat, and we just takes a little drive on towards evening. Just pull up on the top of the big hill there, and I look across at Fred's, and the sun's going down, and I hear Cyril Shaw out there hollering at the kids and the cows, and the dogs barking. And there's that outhouse, all bathed in yeller light in the morning glory. She's great for growing morning glories. She's fertile there in the morning glory. And I see that privy bathed in yeller light, and I stops at the top of the hill and slips the car in mutual, and I put the arm around the wife, and I says to Nora, Nora, Freddie Bailey's got himself a fine privy, a mighty fine privy. Thank you very much. Now, if somebody would help that couple up, would you like to come on up here, and maybe somebody there to bring their chairs up. We'd like you to sit up here for a minute. And we'll get a little more serious for a second. Come on up here, Fred Neal. What? Do as you're told. The girls would just love to bring your chairs up here. Get them up here, Jim. Yeah. Pullman's been backing up, and I told Ev I'd build that for her. Anyway, Fred and Evelyn, we would congratulate you on 25 years of marriage, and we would like to at this time introduce the wedding party, those that are here. Well, Evelyn, I guess we better start with the maid of honor, right? Pat Sharp, is she here? Sparks? Sorry. There you are, Pat, your kids over there. Okay. And then the counterpart, the best man, I don't know where he's at. I think he's busy. Alan Bailey was the best man. And the beautiful attendants were Bev, Clap Hegel. And the other one was Carol Bailey. And the ushers were Gary Bailey, there he is, and Frank Harry, and the ring and flower people were David and Catherine Harry. Now, for most of us that live in the North Country, or some that live in the North Country probably don't know Evelyn's family, but her brother Doug and his wife are here. Doug and Hazel. Stand up a second. Brother Frank and his wife Lois. Geraldine and Harold Lawrence. And her twin brother Gerald and his wife Doreen. And Jim. There's a real big family connection when you get into that area clan, right? Okay, and Fred's family. Mrs. Bailey, we want to ask you to stand up for their first time. And his cute little brother Alan. There he is. Gary and Sandra. And Carol and Bill. Where's Carol gone? There she is. Carol and Bill Bailey. Before we call on Fred and Evelyn to give you a long speech, I'm going to ask their gals, the people that did a lot of work to put this together, so we could all have an excuse to come together and have fun. Margaret. Come up with Daddy Mom. Linda. Susan. There she comes. Linda. And the last, and certainly not least, their daughter Purple, Lisa. Lisa and I have a little joke about Purple. Can I tell them, Lisa? Can I? Well, Lisa, when she was about this high and wasn't going to school yet, used to be down at the mill. And Lisa was always like her dad, a little shy. And I would tease Lisa, and she was coloring madly, and I'd say, like, you know, you're really dumb, Lisa. You don't even know your colors. And I do so. It's purple. It's purple. So that's where purple came from. Fred and Evelyn, I'm going to turn the mic over to you to say a bit, whatever you wish, and I'll get out of here. Fred and Evelyn.
Well, I think Evelyn should be speaking right now. She always speaks first and last. But I think I'm going to take my turn first because she'll be longer. I'd like to thank our family for what they put into this, and all of our friends that's helped them get it in the same position that was in there a few minutes ago. I thought they were my friends, but after looking at them acting the fool, I'm not sure. You done a great job, gang. Here comes the roller and set. And I'd like to thank all of my friends and neighbors and relatives, and God, I can go up here a long ways, for making this a full house by the looks of it tonight. I hope that heck they don't kick us out because we got too many. I don't think I'm going to invite you all back to the house after. Some might come, but I hope not everybody. All I can say is thank you again, and I'll turn this over to Evelyn.
First time in 25 years. I'd just like to thank everybody for coming. It's really great. I know the weather hasn't cooperated, but really appreciate everybody coming. And anybody that has helped the girls in any way to make this such a great evening, thanks. I think that's it. I just thought of something. I'd like to thank the firemen for doing the bartending tonight for us. They've done a super job. And for Daryl Johnson for the music, and for Grant for doing such a great job up here as well.
Only one more announcement, and then we'll get Daryl back here with some music. In about, we're right on time. I can't believe it, girls. We're right on the money. In about a half hour or so, lunch will be served. In the meantime, have a good time. And Daryl Johnson, we'll turn it back over to you for some music. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, we're staying, right? Staying. See those false teeth? How does it feel being married for this long?
You want me to give you a real tooth and show?
How does it feel being married for as long as you've been married?
Oh, it feels great.
25 years.
Just feel like a spring chicken.
Don't you feel kind of old?
No. Oh, God, Kevin.
He's getting to be over that age.
Twist your rubber arm.
It's hurt.
Rubber right.
Hi, Adam. Hi, Andrew. Hi, Mike. Hi, everyone.
City, be quiet.
Oh, you be quiet, Madam.
So, Fred, how long have you known him? Fred,
I have no idea. Don't waste the tape on me. Save it. Save it.
how you doing?
You got that on?
Yep.
Can't eat too much.
Yo. Oh, you look over here.
You're not taping, are you?
Yeah? So how much money is this costing you?
Oh, not too much to me.
Hiya. There's the money. This is well steal.
Responder,
I'm taping.
but we want to make man doing?
Taping.
Throw this man out of there. Are you with the CBC, sir, or...
Hi, you're on Global.
Oh, okay. Well, I would just like to say that the weather has turned absolutely shitty.
What's your language, young man?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, the weather's just terrible.
Kids, swear on this goddamn tape, Grand.
Hi, you're on Global Television.
The weather was shitty. I'm sorry. It's just terrible now.
You're on Global Television. You're on Global Television.
Isn't that...
Canada camera.
You don't get many beautiful models like that on Global, I'll tell you.
I'm ready to get some food. So, how's business?
Business has been brisk. Business has been good.
Good?
Mr. Evans, I presume. What do you need?
Double rye.
Double, right.
For Mark.
Hi, you're on Global Television.
Thank you.
Hi, you're on Global Television.
Is that right, eh?
Yeah.
Get around.
You won't break it that way, so don't wait.
Hi,
you doing?
hi, you're on Global Television.
Good.
Proof.
Am I
Speakers
smiling
on.
okay?
Yep.
Okay.
For 2 billion people, this is a music place.
Said goodbye. He was just a hard man.
Feel being married to Fred.
Just great.
Still love him?
Sure do.
Sure. You're burnt out after 25 years?
Pardon me?
You're not burnt out after the 25 years?
No, I'm getting there though.
Okay, thanks.